Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We are following breaking news. One person is dead, 2 others are hurt after shooting. What we know about the investigation that had officers in at least 3 places overnight.
And some lanes on I-95 are closed after a crash that happened in Nash County earlier this morning. We are taking you to the scene via video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And it's cold out there. The coldest since last January. I'll show you what it will feel like as you step out the door to temperatures in the 20s.
And keeping kids warm in school today, what parents in Wake County need to know about heating problems that left classrooms cold earlier this week. But Wake County Schools says that all of those schools that had to dismiss early because of heating issues, they do have school today. We'll continue to track any issues that may come up. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock on this cold Wednesday. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levin, good in for Jeff Hogan. It would be a really good idea to dress in layers today, especially right now. We're in the 20s for a lot of our air viewing area. We've got Elizabeth Gardner there. It's a pretty sight there as you see the tree behind you there. But again, pretty serious in the cold.
It is very cold. The coldest morning that we've seen so far this season. Out in front of Raleigh Memorial Auditorium, it looks beautiful, all lit up in red and green with the Raleigh Christmas tree as we look down Fayetteville Street. 25 degrees, but we do have calm wind, so no wind chill this morning. That will change this afternoon. We'll talk more about when the wind will pick up coming up. But 18 in Roxborough, 23 Rocky Mount, 25 in Durham, 24 Fayetteville, 22 in Clinton. We tend to see the coldest temperature of the day in the 7 o'clock hour, so these numbers may drop a little bit more in the next hour or so, but you get the gist. You know, it's going to feel like low to mid 20s as you step out the door, and that's around 5 to 10 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday in most places. Yesterday's high was in the mid 40s. With the wind chill today, it's going to feel like low 40s this afternoon, but our actual high is a little warmer than yesterday in the low 50s. We're going to see about 24 to 36 hours of a bit of a warm up starting this afternoon. We'll take a closer look at that coming up, Chris.
And this morning at 6:01, we continue to follow a wreck that was happening on I-95 southbound right near US 64 in Nash County. It looks like that may be in the process of clearing. I'm going to check on some things behind the scenes, let you know in a little bit. Thankfully, no refreeze threat in Moore or Hoke counties, but your tire pressure light might be coming on, so allow yourself a little bit of extra time this morning. Meanwhile, in southeastern Wake County, East Garner Road, Jones Sausage, there is a wreck that's right by East Garner Middle School. Allow yourself some extra time if you're heading into that area. I-40 at Jones Sausage, steady flow of traffic so far. No major delays heading into the capital city. No matter where you are in the triangle, you can give us a listen on 101.5 HD3.
WRAL is trying to get more information about a deadly shooting in Fayetteville. 1 person died and 2 people were injured because of this. We have WRAL's Nick Perlin in the Breaking News Tracker at the Fayetteville Police Department. Nick, police were at 3 different scenes last night.
Hey, Chris, that's right. And we're being told that this shooting started because there was some sort of fight that happened, and that led to people, or at least more than one, at least one person rather, firing a gun. Now, this those 3 scenes that you mentioned, they were Lieber Drive, Tryon Drive, and Bragg Boulevard. These are all in the same area, but I do want to get you to video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is from the very first scene on Lieber Drive, and you can see here police taping off the area around the neighborhood. You can also see police cars as well in that area. Now let's take a look at the second scene. This is on Tryon Drive, and you can also see here a car being towed away from the crime scene. Again, this all happened around 9 last night. We know 1 person was sadly killed and 3 total people were shot. Let's get you to some, we talked to the Fayetteville police chief about this shooting. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's unknown who began or what the sequence of events that led to those shots being fired, and detectives are on scene to investigate now.
Now, we're still trying to find out from Fayetteville police if they know who fired those guns, and we're also trying to find out how many shooters there were, considering 3 total scenes were being investigated last night. As more information becomes available, we'll let you know. Live in Fayetteville, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
More breaking news this morning. 2 lanes of I-95 in Nash County are closed after a crash that happened around 3 this morning. The crash happened near the US 64 exit north of Rocky Mount. This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the large emergency response. You can also see the damage to a black car on the side of the road there. We're working to learn the conditions of the people who were involved.
A fire led to a family of 5 being put out of their home in Harnett County. A WRAL viewer sent us this video of the fire as it was burning. This is on Landmark Drive in Anger. The fire started just before 8 o'clock last night. Teams from 5 area fire departments, they responded to this. Investigators say the home, it was a total loss. They're still trying to figure out what caused the fire, though. But meanwhile, the Red Cross is trying to help that family.
Covering Wake County, families in many schools are hoping their kids will stay warm today in the classroom. 10 schools have been forced to dismiss early this week because they haven't had heat. WRAL's Laura Levine is live at Wake Schools headquarters in Cary. And Laura, what are we learning this morning about the status of those schools?
Renee, good morning. We do have an update for you right now. We now know that Dillard Drive Elementary School, according to the school's website, it says today, December 4th, that the school now has heat working properly and that the issue has been resolved. And that's good news when you take a look at this. Using our temp gun this morning, you can see we are starting off the morning here at 23 degrees in Cary. So just imagine those children in these school buildings without any heat. Taking a look at your screen there, you can see administrators had to dismiss 7 schools early yesterday, right before noon because of this, because there was no heat in the building. Parents tell us it was less than 50 degrees inside the buildings when the district decided to dismiss classes. Wake County board members learned the district is $214.3 million behind on updating heating, ventilation, and air conditioning equipment, and they learned that back in September. District officials have blamed many of its HVAC issues on understaffing, funding gaps, and old equipment.
It's December, and we haven't had weather this cold since January. And so we are just now cranking things up and getting things going. Although we've done some preventative maintenance on the equipment, you never really know until it gets cold and you start running it until we know what's going to happen.
And that was the chief director of facilities and operation. He did tell WRAL News that all schools impacted yesterday should be up and running. The heat should be working properly today. Of course, we'll keep you updated and monitor the situation throughout the morning. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today is a teacher work day at Central Park School for Children in Durham. The school sent a message to parents saying this is because of the lack of heat in the lower school. It was already scheduled to be an early release day.
New this morning, fallout from the chaos in South Korea after its president declared martial law. Opposition lawmakers have filed a motion to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol after he made that declaration, only to lift it hours earlier. Lawmakers could vote on the bill Friday or Saturday. That's according to a South Korean news agency. President Yoon declared martial law yesterday, accusing the opposition party of paralyzing the government. He even accused some of siding with communist North Korea.
Durham police reopened Birtland Avenue after a shooting investigation lasted more than 8 hours. Officers were called there around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. You're looking at video from Sky 5 right now. Investigators found a man who had been shot, and that man died at the scene. A mobile command unit blocked the entrance to the Claremont and Hillendale complex. Neighbors say they are not used to seeing violence in that area.
I mean, I'm in shock. I've always felt like this is a really safe area, so this is incredibly surprising. I never would have expected something like this to happen here.
So right now, WRAL is working to learn the name of the victim and what led up to the shooting. Today, the Supreme Court will hear an appeal challenging a Tennessee ban on gender-affirming medical care. This is specifically care for transgender youth. The case will decide if regulations on transgender issues are a type of discrimination. The case will affect young people's access to puberty blockers and hormone treatments. It will also determine how much court oversight is appropriate for laws regarding transgender rights.
Happening today, RDU is announcing 2 new international routes as you take a look live at the airport. Earlier this week, we told you about the new Air Canada route to Vancouver beginning next June. That is the 3rd new international destination launching from RDU next year. Dennis Edwards with Visit Raleigh says international flights are necessary for companies moving to the Triangle.
A lot of these companies that are corporations that are moving here, they're international companies, and to have easy access in and out of the Triangle is very, very essential to their success.
He says growth at RDU is important when adding new flights, and working with lawmakers on Capitol Hill to secure funding will make that growth possible. This morning's announcement from RDU is happening at 9:30. We'll have a crew at RDU when we learn where those 2 new international destinations will be. Make sure to tune into our newscasts at noon and from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL for the update.
The Raleigh City Council is moving forward with an adjusted noise ordinance. Now, violators will be required to turn down sound immediately after receiving a citation. Bars and clubs will need to keep amplified sound inside for a period of 24 hours. The Glenwood South neighborhood has been a big focus of this. It has received more than 70% of all noise citations in the last year. The new changes need to go before the council a second time before taking effect. The council will take it up again next month. And that's something we'll be watching very closely here on WRAL.
New information about how a woman got on an international flight without a ticket, how she was able to sneak past security at JFK and get on the plane.
Plus, new efforts to stop the use of phones in school classrooms. The policy changes that may happen to keep children focused while in school.
And it's a cold start this morning. Our temperatures are in the 20s right now. I'll show you what the temperature will feel like this evening for our tower lighting celebrations.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, hopefully these temperatures this morning will put you in the holiday spirit. If not, take a look at Franklinton. That will. Beautiful tree there on the lawn of the middle school, and all the decorations and lights there along the sidewalk looks absolutely beautiful. Temperatures heading out the door, though, really cold. The coldest since last January. 21 in Lewisburg, 24 in Fayetteville. It's 19 in Roxborough, 21 in Irwin, and 23 in Rocky Mount. So a very cold start this morning. There is no wind, so we don't have a wind chill until later this afternoon. If you're thinking about exercising, obviously it's really cold this morning. That will not stop some of the runners out there, I know. This afternoon, though, feeling more comfortable at 51, but the winds will be gusting up to 20 miles per hour, so it'll feel more like mid-40s. Keep that in mind. Chris?
We continue to follow breaking news this morning. What you're looking at is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of an accident on I-95 southbound. This is in Nash County. I actually just got an update that I want to share with you over here. This is right by exit 138. 2 of the 3 general purpose lanes remain closed, and it's expected that's going to reopen at 8 a.m. The earlier estimate was that it would already be reopened, but it looks like that's going to take a little bit longer. In the meantime, any kind of delays heading into the capital city look to be minimal. So certainly that's good news, but it looks like as we get towards 7 and 8 a.m., we tend to see those delays. We'll keep tabs on that.
Okay, we know you'll be tracking that. Chris, thank you. President-elect Donald Trump's legal team is seeking to dismiss his criminal hush money case. Trump was convicted in May of 34 felony counts. His lawyers say the legal troubles would affect his ability to govern. They are asking Judge Juan Merchan to vacate the guilty verdict and toss the charges. The judge has not yet indicated when he will rule on the motion. He has also not set a new date for sentencing.
New video reveals the moment that a flight attendant managed to encounter a woman who is accused of stowing away on a flight from New York to Paris. Let's say a little bit more about this. The attendant says the woman's boarding pass does not match her name. The woman claims that it's a friend's pass. A source told NBC News the woman used a lane reserved for flight crews to avoid security at JFK Airport last week. She then dodged the standard ID check and went through a body scanner before sneaking on the flight to Paris. The TSA says that she was not a security threat, but former TSA Director Gary Phelan says this is not a good thing to have happen.
Very shocked. We didn't catch her even boarding on the aircraft itself. And how that happened, it's beyond my comprehension, frankly.
And that was Jerry Phelan talking there. French authorities detained the woman before putting her on a flight returned to New York, but then she made a disturbance on that plane and was escorted off.
NC State Police are investigating an arson that happened near campus. This was on Mid-Pines Road just before 7:30 yesterday morning. A Hyundai Elantra was set on fire. No one was hurt. Police haven't released any information about who may have done this. If you have any information about the fire, call NC State Police.
A Raleigh mother is accused of harming her child and leaving them in the cold. Police say 21-year-old Nikita Jones left her 6-week-old baby in her car when temperatures were around 40 degrees. This happened November 21st. Investigators say that car was in the parking lot where Jones was working her job. It's unclear how long the baby was in the car. Experts say it takes a few hours for hypothermia to set in for an adult, and it's even less for a baby. Jones is also accused of hitting the baby in the face a day before, and she is currently in jail and expected in court in 2 weeks.
Your child's school may have new restrictions for cell phone use. The State Board of Education is taking steps to create a new policy after hearing from school leaders and lawmakers. Some of the suggestions include requiring students to put their phones in pouches, automatic confiscation, or being sent to the principal's office. State lawmakers presented a bill last year to restrict cell phone use in school, but it didn't pass.
1 in 7 North Carolinians are food insecure, and 1 in 5 children face hunger. That is why the annual Bull City Food-Raiser is happening through Saturday. Many children are only fed when receiving the free breakfast and lunch in schools. A Durham teacher started this fundraiser, and that was because one parent was vulnerable enough to ask for food assistance a decade ago.
It's irresponsible of us as a community to know that that's happening and not do something about it.
There's no shame asking for help. This year, they are feeding every student at 12 elementary schools and 1 middle school. That amounts to almost 5,000 bags of food to take home over the holidays.
You can help make the holidays warmer and brighter for our neighbors in need during WRAL Coats for the Children. Just scan the QR code on your screen to give any amount. You can help WRAL and the Salvation Army make a positive difference for local children in need. Giving a little can help a lot. Together, we can make the holiday season warmer and happier for local children in need. You'll be happy if you grab your heaviest puffy coat as you head outside. It is bone chilly cold out there, Elizabeth.
It is. Skies are clear. At least the winds are calm, so we're not having to deal with the wind chill. We're just starting to see a little daylight showing up there in Fayetteville with the clear skies. Apex looking pretty this morning with the holiday decorations. Of course, we have the tower right behind the TV studios here in Raleigh, lit in blue for the clear skies. But this time tomorrow, it will be all lit up in Christmas colors. Chapel Hill is clear this morning. That is courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant. Look at these temperatures heading out the door. The coldest, at least on this map, is Henderson at 16. It's 18 in Roxborough, and then down here in Siler City, 21 in Lewisburg and in Roanoke Rapids, 23 for Rocky Mount and Wilson, and it's 20 degrees in Goldsboro, 25 in the Triangle, 17 in Sanford, 18 in Rayford, 24 in Fayetteville, 21 in Clinton. It is a cold, cold start out there, the coldest that we've seen since January. We take a look at our towers all ready to go at 7 o'clock. You can watch here on WRAL or join us in Durham, Raleigh, or Rocky Mount for the tower lightings. Again, temperatures are in the 20s now, but during our tower lighting celebrations, temperatures will be in the upper 30s. Still need a coat, but it shouldn't be too bad out there. Remember the snow that we saw yesterday? This is one of my favorite snow pictures from yesterday. Karen Horner sent this in from Eagle Springs. Just enough snow to make a tiny snowman. I love that. Keep sending us your photos. Go to WRAL.com and search Weather Watchers. We are looking at some colder temperatures that drop back in on us on Friday and Saturday. A slight warm up between now and then, but we're looking at another warm up for early next week. So big roller coaster ride with the temperatures. This high pressure system has kept things cold now, and we'll see another high that drags that colder air back into North Carolina behind this front. This is Thursday's front. Ahead of the front for today and tomorrow, we're a little bit warmer. This front will be rain free for us. We'll see some snow and wintry precipitation in the mountains, but no precipitation for us, but it is going to usher in some colder air for Friday and Saturday. Rain chances between now and Sunday are 0, but next week it looks like we'll have a chance for a wetter than normal conditions, but also above average temperatures. So if you're thinking wetter than normal, does that mean snow? Well, probably not, because we're going to see a pretty big warm up. So we're milder today and tomorrow. This afternoon at 51, still going to feel in the 40s with the wind chill, but then it's pretty chilly for us on Friday and Saturday. The warm up begins Sunday at 58. We could be near 70 on Tuesday, but Chris, Chris, you know, I've been looking at the models, and it definitely looks like it's going to be wet, at least for parts of early next week, right about the time it gets warm.
It's just the cold air and the moisture. They can't seem to line up.
Don't go together.
So, apparently not. We've got a busy morning here in the traffic center, continuing to follow this crash, I-95 southbound in Nash County. We've been following this all throughout the night. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Near exit 138 in Nash County, 2 of the 3 lanes remain closed up until about 8 o'clock this morning. I have another crash I want to point your attention to. Just came in on the traffic sensors, I-40 eastbound. This is near Chapel Hill and near US 15 or Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard. Something to at least keep in mind as you're heading out the door this morning. We'll give you a live look at some of the delays. They're minimal coming into the capital city. Maybe a 2-minute delay so far this morning in Wake Forest. And no matter where you are in the Triangle, you can listen to us on 101.5 HD3 or 99.3 in Raleigh, 96.5 in Durham.
All right, thanks, Chris. Wake County schools have needs, but the money needed isn't where it should be. This morning, a look at where the district is missing millions of dollars.
And check Fido's food. Dog kibble being recalled for salmonella contamination, including some sold here in North Carolina.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Today in What's Trending, a classic TV jingle is coming back for its 50th anniversary.
I'm sure people will be singing it this morning, so you may have heard this.
My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-A-Y-E-R.
I'm so glad they added that, because the earlier edit, they didn't put the last part on. It's bringing back the song. Oscar Mayer back for a new ad. The company is inviting you to submit a recording of yourself singing the famous jingle, and submitting that video could win you a $50 Instacart credit there.
Oh, that brings back so much memories. Oh, I love to eat it every day. That was in my lunch. Bologna sandwich, Capri Sun, potato chips.
And if you ask me, then I'll say, we won't go through the whole thing. You know how it goes.
And you know how to spell bologna. Well, the North Carolina Zoo has not 1, but 2 white deer living near it. Zoo staff spotted the second deer, a female, after the snowfall yesterday. The first deer, a male, was spotted earlier in the year. The animals live on protected parkland near the zoo.
All right. So Billboard says that Beyonce is the greatest pop artist of the 21st century. She has topped the charts 12 times since 2000 when she was with Destiny's Child. Taylor Swift, Rihanna, Drake, and Lady Gaga round out the top 5. I'm sure some people are probably scratching their heads that it should be Taylor Swift, but I ain't starting that. I'm just saying this what people are going to say.
Today, we'll learn more about the future of the old Northgate Mall in Durham, the new development that may be coming to the site.
And it's very cold this morning, coldest since January. Our temperatures range from the upper teens to mid-20s. I'll show you exactly what it will feel like as you head out the door.
A person is dead and 2 others are hurt because of a shooting in Fayetteville. What police are revealing about their investigation as they work to make an arrest.